Giant 96 Real Radio on Penny Lane. We're broadcasting, covering the 32nd International Blues Challenge downtown Memphis at the Doubletree. And I've got a special person right next to me. I always love having him on the show. He was someone that we met probably at the first International Blues Challenge that our family came to, and my good friend Doc Malone says you've got to meet blind Mississippi Morris. And since that day, he's just exposed us to so much great blues, reached his heart out to our family, him and his wife Melody. I would like to welcome to the show blind Mississippi Morris. How are you?
Oh, fine. How's everybody doing?
We're doing great.
All right, man. Y'all right here in front too, I tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment, and here at the International Blues Challenge. And Morris, you go way back with the blues, and I would consider you, one of the blues greats. Tell me a little bit tell our listeners about your musical history, where you're from.
Well, I was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi. At those times we couldn't afford real doctors, so we had to have midwives, So my birth certificate was on stone.
Wow. No, it wasn't.
No.
Gosh,
She says, wow.
I believed you for a minute. Don't tease me. That's not right. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, wait a minute. That's a joke.
No, that was a joke. No, it ain't on stone.
All
Fred,
right.
yeah.
I was like,
Fred
really?
Flintstone.
That's cool.
But I was born in my uncle's house, which he was a musician also. His name was Robert Diggs, and he played with the Mississippi Sheiks, and he also did stuff on his own and some recording also. And you can look online and find his stuff. And we're also in the family with Willie Dixon and, good God, so many others, But my exposure to the blues was, going to see Sonny Boy with Howlin' Wolf sister. And at that time, you're young, you don't know what's going on. You're just glad to go somewhere, From the church to Helena is the way we went from Clarksdale, Mississippi. My family, we had like 7 siblings in a one-room, place, a little room right up over the furniture store there on 360 Sequina. That's in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And the furniture store was called Jacobson.
Uh-huh.
And right next to it was the Hamburger Cafe, And across the alley was the real WROX, where Early Wright.
Wow.
Yeah, Early Wright gave away his loaf of bread every Sunday. You could see people in line trying to get that one loaf of bread, So I guess he opened it up and gave them all a slice. I don't know. But we never was lucky to get the bread, Yeah.
No, but we're all lucky that you picked up a harmonica. When did you start playing harmonica?
Well, it's a funny thing about that harmonica. I've been hearing my uncle and my aunt play. My Aunt Mary, she was also with the Mississippi Sheiks. And she also, in her last days, played with the Harps and Melody Gospel Group here in Memphis, Tennessee. And she played with the Memphis Jug Band also. But, no one never took the time to teach me how to play, but I always wanted to do it, and I felt kind of bad because my brothers and sisters, they was older, and they got the chance to play with the instruments and everything, and I guess I was too young, and they didn't want me to tap their stuff, But there's a little store on the corner called Joe Compassionate, right there where it says Sarah down on Essequina, where you first come down them steps to go under the underpass.
All right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, right there, they used to trade hides. They used to sell hunting gear, fishing poles, and you could get a harmonica for guess what?
What?
50 cents.
50 cents. Wow. They're not 50 cents anymore, are they?
Oh, God, no. And they ain't as good.
They're not. I've heard that from a lot of players.
50 cents, and they had their own little cardboard case, to make it compact where it wouldn't be sweated out, And they were so good because, a kid could play, and get cookies and everything in it, Wash it out and it still work. But you get a
What happened?
you get a cookie in one of these jokers today, you got to buy another one.
Right.
That's another 50 or 60 bucks,
Or if you drink a Coke or something, you'll
Yeah,
learn it.
oh, you drink a Coke, get all the keys a stick, and you have to take it back to the mill and probably get it fixed.
Now, you've traveled all over the world, with ambassadors and all kinds of neat things. Tell us a little bit about your world travels and something that you think our listeners would enjoy, because you've been a lot of places.
Well, I tell you what, this is the funny thing. You know, when I started traveling over there myself with Brad and the Pocket Rockets and stuff, we would go over to my friend's Eddie's. And Eddie, he works on castles and things like that, you know, and he made a thing to let us know exactly what was happening in the history of the place, like Nottingham and all that. He would show us all those places. Took us to Joe Cocker's town, all that, because all the little towns is just like 30 miles apart almost, you know. So it ain't like no whole long ways go nowhere. But one of my favorite places I went to was Stonehenge over there in England. And it was really fascinating because they let me feel this stone, right? It was made like a thing you tie horses to, one of the stones were. And so I was over there messing with this stone. And if you ever experience two magnets, right? You know, like you try to stick one magnet to another one, and you know the wrong end and it moves.
Right.
Certain parts of this stone would not let my hand sit still.
Wow.
When it was moving my hand like, man, like someone was taking my wrist like that and moving it, and I had to let Brad feel that.
Did he feel it too?
Yes. It was the freakiest thing I ever felt. That was a different thing.
That was an experience you would remember.
Yes. And there was another thing I wanted to do, but Eddie didn't have the courage to take me. It was where they had dug up this vampire, right?
Oh, gosh.
This is serious stuff, I'm telling you. They had dug up this vampire. His family was royal, you know, they of the castle and everything. They were kings and all that. But he was a vampire.
Was it Count Dracula?
I don't know. But I wanted to see this thing. I wanted to see what a real vampire feel like, right? But I couldn't get Eddie to go, right?
Right.
Eddie said, no, Morris, I don't think you need to do that, you know? But I said, Eddie, I want to do this. I want to know this is for real, right? He said, this guy been dead over 200 or 300 years, and his body hadn't decomposed or anything. He's just like it was when they laid him in the ground.
Well, maybe he wasn't dead.
Yeah. Man, I wanted to touch him, you know. But Eddie wouldn't take me, so that was another little disappointment, but that was it, you know.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't get to see the vampire, Morris. Maybe you could write a song about that, huh? Blues song?
That would be kind of different, you know.
Well, where can we follow you online?
At Morris98. What is that? How you find me online, dear? BlindMississippiMorris.com.
That's a hard one to remember, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a hard one to remember.
But tell me this. When can we come see you perform next?
We'll be performing this Saturday night at Blues City Cafe from 9:30 to 1:30, and we got some great players in the house. We got the Albert King's son on bass, which he's a phenomenal player. He plays all the instruments, of course, and I mean very well. We got Chris Pitts on guitar, and we got Brother Nick on the drums. Oh, you in for a treat.
All right. Well, we're always in a treat.
It's a monster show, yeah. It's a monster player, yeah.
Blind Mississippi Morris, thank you for taking a trip with Penny Lane on Giant 96 Real Radio. It's always an honor. Appreciate everything you do, and you're a prime example of what makes the blues family so special.
Oh, yeah.
You and Melody.
We just plain old people, old down-home country folks, and we love all y'all.
we love you too.
Yeah.
You're listening to Giant 96 Real Radio, a trip with Penny Lane. We're covering the 32nd International Blues Challenge from the DoubleTree, downtown Memphis.